Well, good day to you all, and welcome to another study through the Westminster Confession of Faith. We are on chapter 27, entitled Of the Sacraments. It's been a little bit since we did a study like this, and so just a brief word ahead of time. I'm changing up the format a little bit. We're basically just going to be reading through and walking through the confession so that we can just understand the basics of what's being said here. Part of this is to provide you with, basically the equivalent of what we were doing in adult Sunday school. Part of it also is to finish up our deacon training through the Confession of Faith. We only have a few chapters left, so hopefully we can make a little swift progress through this and have them prepared, at least the ones that are going to be ready to stand for election. So again, we're looking at the chapter of the Sacraments. It's on page 864 of the Red Trinity Hymnal. And so I'd encourage you to turn there in the hymnal or to whatever other copy of the Westminster Confession you may have. This is what it says about the sacraments. Sacraments are holy signs and seals of the covenant of grace, immediately instituted by God, to represent Christ and his benefits, and to confirm our interest in him, as also to put a visible difference between those that belong to the church and the rest of the world, and solemnly to engage them to the service of God in Christ according to his word. So this really is, in a nutshell, a definition of what a sacrament is. And that definition applies to the sacraments of the Old Testament times, as well as the sacraments of the New Testament times. So let's just walk through this definition phrase by phrase, because anytime we're dealing with a definition, it's very important, and the words are chosen carefully. So the first thing it tells us here is that sacraments are holy signs and seals of the covenant of grace. Now, why do we use that language? We use that language because it comes out of the Bible. And if you look in Romans chapter 4, this is really a key proof text for the sacraments, and it's one worth committing to memory. Here he's speaking of Abraham and the Abrahamic covenant, and specifically the doctrine of justification by faith. And here in verse 11, it speaks of Abraham that he received the sign of circumcision as a seal of the righteousness that he had by faith while he was still uncircumcised. Notice those two phrases, or those two words that appear there. Sign of circumcision, seal of faith.